So last night in the live, somebody asked, okay, what is the first step to make if I want to lose weight? And I want to expand on that answer because I always tend to hesitate and fumble when I'm trying to talk about weight loss because I want people to know that their weight is not their worth. And my only caveat when talking about weight loss is that if your focus is to lose weight, then I also want your priority to be to lose the weight, the W-A-I-T. So if you're pursuing some weight loss goals, I don't want your mindset to be, well, when I lose the weight, I'll be happy. When I lose the weight, I will go do this thing I always wanted to. When I lose the weight, I'll go and buy clothes that I feel comfortable in. So my only caveat for pursuing weight loss is that you're also pursuing losing the weight, the W-A-I-T. Don't wait for anything to happen before allowing yourself to be happy or pursue things. You can be on a journey for weight loss while also doing all those other things. So with that being said, now we can move forward. And the number one thing that needs to be present when we're in the process of losing fat is for our calorie intake to be less than our calorie expenditure. Now, we can do that in a multitude of ways. You can have that happen by cutting out food groups. And so that's how people see success on like vegetarian or gluten-free or dairy-free, because it's cut out certain food groups, it's naturally lowered your calorie intake. And you could do it by cutting out meals. That's how they find success with like intermittent fasting. You could do it by cutting out the mindless eating. They do that with increasing awareness through like macro tracking, calorie counting, Weight Watchers. That's how all these different diet programs allow you to see weight loss, is because you're intaking less than you're expending. So your body uses your energy stores and burns through those. Now you could also lose weight by starving yourself or eating just cookies, as long as your intake is less than your outtake. But I wouldn't recommend it because you would feel like shit. And I'm not in the business of helping people just get smaller. I want people to feel better. So just because it's possible doesn't mean that's the way we want to do it, because it needs to be enjoyable and sustainable, because we need to be in a sustained calorie deficit to lose weight. This is a process that takes time. That's why we need to do action steps that we can keep up with for the long run. So just because you could lose weight by just managing calories but eating whatever you want, the thing is, it's hard to stick to long enough to see the results. Because if you're only eating processed foods or cutting your calories too much too fast, the cravings will be really hard to ignore. So that makes, you could like white knuckle it for a little period, but that'll probably result in like a rebound on Saturday where you end up eating everything in sight. So then you actually don't have a calorie deficit by the end of the week. So say they have an estimation, it takes around 3,500 calories less than what our body needs to equal a pound of fat loss. But that has to happen consistently. We could cut off 500 calories per day, and in theory, you would lose a pound by the end of the week. But sometimes when we try to drop our calories too fast, so we're in a 500 calorie deficit Monday to Friday, but then we've been not enjoying what we're eating, we've been feeling like garbage, we feel like we're in that restrictive mindset, so then by Saturday, we end up overeating by 1,000 calories Friday, Saturday. And then our sleep is shit, so Sunday we overeat again by 500 calories. So when then you zoom out by the end of the week, you actually haven't sustained a calorie deficit long enough to see any changes. So that's where we end up getting stuck. So with that being said, here's some things that we can do to make the process of losing weight feel easier and more sustainable. The reason we don't want it to be a fast drop in weight is because if you create too large of a calorie deficit, your body will burn through not only your fat stores, but also your muscle stores. So you won't feel as good, you'll feel weaker, and your metabolism will drop because our muscle tissue uses up a lot of energy just to keep itself. That's why people who have lots of muscle mass feel like they can eat so much more and still maintain their weight, because just keeping muscle mass requires more calories, more energy. So when we lose weight to fat, we're not just losing fat, we're losing fat and muscle, which makes every consecutive diet attempt way harder and you feel crappier. So that's why we want to go slow and steady so we can preserve our muscle mass and just focus on losing those fat stores. So the basic tasks that we have in the challenge, they're foundational for regardless, whatever your goal is, weight loss, performance, health. But since we're talking about weight loss, here's how getting protein at every meal, getting enough protein, getting your high fiber, fruits and vegetables, and water will benefit you on your journey to lose weight. First off, the protein will help. It's what your muscle is made of. It'll help preserve that muscle mass so that you're not losing muscle. You're just focusing on losing that fat loss. And it keeps you fuller longer so that you're not having to use all your energy to battle through cravings all day. It'll help balance your blood sugars, same thing, so that you're not stuck thinking about food or getting crashes that you feel like you need to check a snack back to keep going. Same thing with the fruits and veggies. They are high volume, but a low calorie, so it physically fills you up. And it also gives you the building blocks, the macro and micronutrients that your body needs to feel good so that you can continue on with your day without feeling the need of grabbing those quick and easy convenience foods to get through the day. So it allows you to keep that calorie deficit without feeling stuck with cravings all through the day. Same with water. Water helps give you energy, eliminates the brain fog, and it helps fill you up. It helps reduce hunger, cravings. So all those three things will make your process of weight loss way easier. Now, I also want to mention, I want to help people find their healthiest weight, not their smallest weight. Smallest doesn't equal healthiest. Everybody's body is different shape, different size. And what allows you to live your best and healthiest and most energetic and active life may not look the same as somebody else's healthiest weight. So that's when you want to touch in with your biofeedback and not just focus on the number on the scale, but be like, okay, what allows me to feel confident and comfortable and in control around food, comfortable in my clothes, good digestion, good sleep, stress management, energy, strength. So make sure to focus on all those areas to figure out what is your healthiest weight, not as what your smallest weight. So how do you know when you're in a calorie deficit? You don't have to count every calorie or macro track to create changes, but it is good to be aware of calories, what they like, what foods are made of, and how processed foods may be higher in calories but lower in fiber, protein, and water, those things that allow you to stay satisfied throughout the day, eliminate cravings. So we don't have to obsessively count every calorie to figure out how to create a deficit, but it's good to be aware of the intake of food, and your body will tell you whether you're having too much or too little. So we'll practice listening to ourselves. Pay attention to what and how you're eating. And if after 2 weeks you see that you've gained weight, you know, like, okay, that is a surplus of what my body needs in this moment. Where are ways that I can make adjustments? And everybody's going to look different. For some people that may mean, hey, building a more substantial breakfast because they're getting cravings at like 10 a.m. and then grabbing those snacks of donuts or whatever that's in the office. For other people, maybe emotional eating late at night. So for them to create a sustainable deficit, it'll be, okay, how do I unpack what is causing the stress and find other tools other than stress eating to cope? So everybody is different. That's why there's not this one size fits all approach to help everybody find a sustainable calorie deficit. But that's where we like to start with something. Getting your protein in at every meal, fruits and veggies making up most of your plate most of the time, eating to satisfied, not stuffed, getting your hydration in. All those are great places to start, and then you can figure out in your lifestyle what are the little tweaks that you need to make to feel your best. Anyways, I hope this clears it up a little bit of clarity, but hit me up with some questions.